Alrighty, welcome to my little impact big work class, you guys. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Magical Mason. First and foremost, I'm gonna need you to go follow me on Instagram. And if you don't follow Formula 18 already, follow them on Instagram as well, because this transformation today is gonna be so stellar, you're not gonna want to miss it. But the result will be posted on my Instagram and Formula 18's Instagram later on today. So make sure you don't miss that. Any products that we talk about today, if you are wanting to kind of dive into the Formula 18 and kind of see what it's all about, I definitely recommend going to my page and clicking the Formula 18 link, and you can buy leave-in conditioner, repair oil, or whatever you want from that link on my Instagram. Okay, so if you see anything that you have questions about today, please feel free to ask if you're here live with us today. So we're going to get right into it. I am just super pumped to do this balayage today. A little bit about this balayage is this is my signature balayage technique. So I am pumped. I am over the moon, you guys, to teach this to you. This is the first time I have ever taught this class free. So if you're watching this, stay tuned because you're definitely not going to want to miss this. Okay. So first and foremost, this balayage technique is super easy. You shouldn't be overfoiling, and it should honestly take you, depending on your client's density and their length, and sometimes maybe their past color history. It should take you anywhere from 2.5 hours to 4 hours. Okay. So today in this class, we're going to be showing you placement. I'm going to be talking about products, and I'm going to be talking about my favorite bleach on the planet, which is White Lightning from Formula 18. And that's what we're going to be using today as well. So first and foremost, my client is completely virgin. Yes, I know. Amazing. It's a rare find out here, you know? So this balayage, you want to try to get somebody with virgin hair, but if you can't, this placement is still going to work for them. But whenever you go to tone, you're just going to want to keep in mind of maybe if they had some past color in there, you're going to have to tone a little bit differently than you would if you had somebody with all virgin hair, because we all know that when you have all virgin hair, it's going to lift like a charm, right? So that's why we have this virgin hair model today, because I want to show you how amazing this placement can be, and you don't need to be overthinking it. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and start by sectioning our client off. Okay, is this your natural part?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of where your hair falls.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's definitely important to make sure that you find your client's natural part or ask them about it. Don't just assume, okay? Because I can't remember where your part is, and neither can you, okay? And you know that. So it's always important to ask, because then that's going to affect how you section your client, okay? One thing I am going to give you a choice on: do you want a money piece today, or would you rather it be all blended?
What do you think?
So a money piece, if you do a money piece, you'll kind of see that money piece grow out. But if you don't do a money piece, it'll be a lot lower maintenance. Like you could probably grow it up.
I guess not.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we're not going to do a money piece. We're just going to do total traditional balayage today. And we are going to put it in foils just for the heat aspect. But if you are comfortable hand painting in open air, do that as well, and fix your ratios on your lightener accordingly. Okay. But today we are going to use long foils just for the sake of time, heat, and I want to make sure the lift is 100%. So I am going to start by sectioning my client on the mohawk section, okay? And I'm going to turn you just a little bit so you can see this. And I always do the mohawk section first because I feel arguably it's the most important section. So I like to go from temple to temple, around the cowlick. So you swoop the cowlick wherever that is, make sure that is in the mohawk section. Temple to temple. And you want to make sure that your client's part is inside of this mohawk section. It better not be all the way over here. It can be in the center, but it better not be on the side where like it's not going to show in this mohawk section, okay? So we're going to clip this right up. And that is going to be your last section because it's quite big. but I feel like that's the moneymaker, okay? And we are doing a full balayage today, okay? So then after that, we're going to section the ears, the sides. So I think it's a diagonal back, I feel like, but I'm going to show you this section. Okay. It's from the corner of this section to pretty much like the middle of the ear. Okay. But you want to make sure the whole ear, the width of the ear, I guess, covers in this section. Okay. So you could even swoop it a little bit. Sorry. If you want to swoop it a little bit more, if you could. Cool. So you want to make sure the ear is all in this section. Okay. And you can do the exact same thing to the other side. Top of the ear, yeah, for sure. And then in this back section, you're literally going to make 2 sections. That's it. We're not overcomplicating this. That's like the whole point, right? So I'm going to show you this back section. And if you feel really, really confident, you can make this 1 section. And as you go through, you can kind of just section as if there was 2 sections. And actually, I think that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to kind of show you how to do this with not a whole lot of overthinking it. Because I feel like people overthink balayage and blended hair colors so much. And when I first started doing balayage and making it my own, I really wanted to not overcomplicate the process. And I do feel like that has been what's worked for me behind the chair. And I think that my clients love that I'm not messing around, I'm getting right to it. And they don't feel super blonde. They feel blended, very kind of a natural but intense dimension. Okay. So we are going to start with these back sections when we start bleaching. So let's go and let's start bleaching, and we're going to talk about our mix up today. So I'm going to bring you on over here to the color bar. And just make sure we are all good here. All right. So this is my color bar. This is where I mix all my color. I do have these Formula 18 bags on display because I want to show you the 2 different bleach powders, and we're going to talk about those and what I like best about those throughout the service, okay? But what I am using today is White Lightning bleach powder from Formula 18. When I tell you guys this is my favorite bleach on the planet, like, I'm not kidding. Okay. Like, this is the best. It gives the best lift. It's even lift. I feel like it's very gentle. A lot of my clients leave here feeling just as healthy of hair as when they came in, which is so amazing. And I love that it gives even lift, even through color corrections. Okay. So this is what we're going to be using today. And I'm going to show you how I mix up. So today we are going to be using let's see. We're gonna use 20 volume. But we are gonna do 1-to-1. Okay. We're gonna do 1-to-1 because I want the consistency to be a bit thick. Okay, because I don't want my bleach dripping through my section, causing bleeders inside of my section. And you'll kind of understand what I'm talking about once we get into it. Okay. So this is my jar of Formula 18. Get you one. Okay, it's the best. And yeah, look, it says my name on it. Cool. All right. So I do pretty much 1 scoop at a time because I like to mix my bowls as I go, and it doesn't take me a long time to mix my bowls. If it takes you a long time to mix your bowls, maybe speed it up, right? So we're gonna do 1 scoop. So that's 30 grams. We're working in grams today. If you work in ounces, do the math. Okay. 30 grams of White Lightning. And we're gonna go ahead and use our 20 volume today. And we are, let me see. Sorry guys, my nails are not sharp enough. And we are going to stick with 20 volume the entire time through the service because she does have virgin hair. There's no reason to go above that. And it's going to do exactly what we want to do with 20 volume. So 30 grams plus 30 grams is what? 60 grams. So we're going to get into it. 60 grams Boom. And then what do we add after that? Plant-based reinforcement. Okay. I like to add just a few drops. If your client's hair is really dry or really coarse, add a few more. For my client today, her hair is really healthy. It's super virgin. So we are only going to add maybe 2 drops of this. You can add this into your color. It's great for gray coverage. You can literally add this into anything. I have heard that you can add those drops into your mask treatment at the bowl. I have never done that, but I have heard that it really, really hydrates the hair. Okay. And maybe I should try that. Maybe you should try that too. All right. So I am going to take this brush. I call it my painting brush. You can use whatever brush you want. This is what I like to use. And we're going to go ahead and mix that accordingly. And another thing I like about this bleach is I have worked with a lot of other bleaches in the past. And what I find when I start mixing this bleach in other bleaches is I get a lot of dust, and I'm concerned. Okay. This bleach, I find that it does not do that. Okay. So that's also what I love about it. I mean, I feel like it wins on all sides, truly. If you're curious about this bleach, I'm pretty sure you can get it on the link in on my Instagram if you're a hairstylist. All right. So we're gonna start with a wee bowl to get started. This is my consistency. It's quite thick. That's what you want. Let's go. All right. So I'm gonna put this right here so you can see exactly what we are doing right now. So you can see that this section right here is not super, super thin, okay? That is the point of this. You don't want sections that you can read through. We're not doing a 2008 highlight, you know what I mean? So when I do my balayage, my signature balayage placement, I do like to have some dimension in between my lightened pieces. Okay. So I'm going to start on this side so you can see, you can start on whatever side you want. It's really important too to leave a veil of the nape hair. This hair is so fragile on everybody. Okay. When women wear necklaces, when you're putting it up in a ponytail, everybody has these hairs that are broken. Okay. So let's not contribute more to that and let's make a veil. Okay. On everybody when you do this placement. And yes, this right here is going to be my section. So you can see that that section is probably 1/2 inch thick. Okay. Pay attention right now. Lock in. All right. This is arguably one of the most important parts of this entire service. I'm going to tease the mid section all the way up to the scalp. What this is going to do is this is going to create your blend for your balayage. I kind of like to call it hair insurance, okay? Because all the hair that goes up must come down, okay? And you'll understand kind of more of that as we go through. If you have questions about the tease, let us know in the chat and I can try to answer them the best I can. Every client's going to have a different amount of tease. Okay. These hairs, they haven't got as long as the rest of the hair. And so everybody's going to have different amounts. I probably have way more than she does. Okay. Because my hair is chemically treated and all that kind of thing. Okay. So she doesn't have that much. So we're going to keep that in mind while we balayage. Okay. You want to hold your section taut with your fingers. I want this hair to bounce. You see this? You see how much tension that is? You want to keep it that way. All right. You can either put a foil right here if you feel better, a balayage board, whatever you feel necessary, but this is how I like to do it at first. I like to hold my section really taut, take my bleach, and I'm going to start in this midsection and I'm going to start freehand painting. I know, scary, but it's not. Okay, watch. This is literally my favorite thing to do. This gives me zen. Okay, so you see how we have this bleach here in this section? Let me turn you so you can see. I'm going to create a small V, okay? So that the balayage cascades around the back of her head and creates a beautiful balayage shape, okay? I'm going to blend all of my balayage lines so we do not have any hard lines. And I'm going very light with it, you guys. Very light with it. And then we're going to bring it all the way down. So I'm going to get you a closer look at this real quick. You see that? Beautiful. That's what I want your section to look like. All right. At this point, I do put a foil on the bottom because I've kind of laid where I want my balayage to be placed. Now it's just time to get that saturation all the way through. The saturation needs to be all the way through the mids to ends. You don't need to worry about it so much through that zone 1 area, just because you don't want super hard lines up here. I promise you, trust me, and you're going to see the most beautiful blended balayage you've ever seen. You perfect it the way you need to. And you can see how this is totally customizable, you know? Like, no one is going to get the same balayage that my client is getting today. Somebody can try to replicate, but freehand painting sets you apart from other people. And I do believe that in our industry right now, as it is, it's so important to set yourself apart from the people around you. And the people around you are not competitors. Let's get that out of our brain. Okay. The people around us are artists, right? They're not competitors. So I think that's what sets you apart from other artists as an artist yourself. Okay. So I'm going to show you this piece right here. Same piece, same thing. But you remember how we took it up on this side? Now we're going to take it up on this side. Okay. So again, holding it taut, I'm going to go ahead and tease. And if your client has a lot of teas, what you can do is take a very small clip like this, and you can actually grab that tease right up here and clip it. Okay. And then resume. Remember our veil, setting that aside. Okay. And yes, these are sliced balayage pieces. Okay. In the next one, we're going to do weaving. Okay. We're going to hold that taut. We're going to get our brush with our bleach on it loaded. And we're going to start in that midsection painting down. We're going to pretty much load our balayage. That's what I like to call this, loading the balayage. Okay. Loading it up. And we're going to swipe. Did you know that that is what balayage means? Is to sweep? Ooh, I bet you didn't know that. And I do. So when I'm balayaging, balayage isn't a look, it's a technique. And that's what I'm teaching you today. Okay, foil. Now we're going to focus on our saturation mids to ends. And obviously this is taking me just a little bit longer to get through because I'm talking through it and kind of showing you exactly what I'm doing. But this should not take you very long. You should be able to place this balayage in 30 minutes. Depending on the density of hair, right? And I do like to lock my foils. You can do whatever you want, but I do like to lock them. Okay, next. So it's important in this balayage to remember that you're going to skip between your sections, okay? Because if you don't, you're going to have a pretty solid balayage, and that's not really the point of what we're doing today. A solid balayage is great, but I think that this is a really good stepping stone to a really full, almost non-dimensional balayage. Alrighty. So I pulled my next section, and we're going to kind of go ahead and just get into this. This one is going to be a weave, okay? So you can see how I've left my veil in between my sections. We're going to tease up. If I'm hurting you. Okay.
Not attention with it.
Perfect. I love to hear it. And I think it is important to ask your client if you're hurting them, because I have had people in the past that are sensitive to teasing and they probably aren't going to tell you. But if you say, hey, if I'm hurting you, please just let me know. And they probably will. Okay. So watch my weave. We're going to go boom, 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 boom. Okay. Let me make sure. I'm going to take just a little separation right here. Okay. So you can see this would be a chunky weave. Okay. And I want you to imagine when we lighten this piece underneath, this darkness, and then what happens when this light sits on top of it. It's going to create a pop, a ribbon, right? And that's the whole premise of this balayage. It's for the light to sit on top of the dark. Loaded my brush, mid, loading my balayage. And remember, we're going to keep this side up. So either side of the ear, that's where your highest piece is going to be. Okay. So I want you to really watch this one. And I'm light. I'm being light with it. Okay. Being pretty light with it. And that's how you're going to get that nice sweep. And you can bring it up as high as you want, as low as you want. This is the part that's customizable. So I'm going to bring it up pretty high on the sides because I really want it to be that deep V balayage. Okay. If you get it up here in the T's, guess what? It's fine. You know why? Because what goes up must come down. And when it comes down, guess where it's going to be? Down here. So it's okay. If you get a chunk, definitely wipe it off with your fingers or a towel or whatever you decide. But this is just, I want you to just get in your creative artist zone when you start doing this, man. Like, I promise you, you're going to realize, whoa, I am an artist. You do this behind the chair on the right client, you'll be like, whoa. And give me 14 of those right now. When I'm locking my foils, I am leaving room for a little bit of swelling, just in case. You never know. And we're going to go ahead and get into this one right here. I'm going to leave a little bit of a veil here. And in this balayage, you're going to go slice, skip, weave, skip, slice, skip, weave. Okay? Tease, 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 tease. Take my clip from over there. Get that tease out of my way. And we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4. Weave. Take a little bit more separation out of that. Got foils dropping. All right. And this time you can see that I put the foil there first, right? So I want to show you something. If you put the foil there first, you're still going to want to keep your section taut, like I'm doing with my fingers right here. But you will lose the over direction of the balayage when you do this. It really just is totally up to you how you feel the most comfortable doing this. So this is how I would do this if I put the foil there first, okay? So I would stick it first, leave those ends out so I can grab them and keep the section taut and keep it from slipping. And you're going to just brush up just like you would then. But I feel like I need a little bit more bleach when I do this. Beautiful. And we're going to go ahead and get those mid stems. Swoop and loop. You see that? Swoop and loop. X's, X's. Secure it. Lock it up. Right. Remember, we're going to skip and now we're doing a slice. You can also do this with all weaves, or you can actually do this with all slices. I did do, so my first class I ever taught was all slices. And everybody was on the edge of their seat, you guys, because I think artists get really scared when we start slicing. Okay. I feel like we think, oh my gosh, it's too impact. Oh my gosh, this and that. Well, if you're slicing the whole balayage, just make sure you skip in between. Yes, you're going to have a more highly dimensional balayage, but honestly, as long as you're using all of the techniques you see here, it's going to be okay. And you'll never have to use a root shadow. Okay. So let's get into it. Let me make sure I still have some good bleach. Yeah. So we've got enough bleach for one more section. We'll get into another mix. So we're slicing this one. Tease up. And remember, we're not teasing from way down here. We're teasing from right here in that middle section. Make sure that tease is all the way up and secured. Clip her up. Okay, loaded my brush. You see how I'm holding this section kind of to my belly button? I know I'm 5'2", so if you're like 6'5", you're not going to be holding it way up here, okay? Hold it down here, wherever your pants are, wherever. But this is kind of how I get that over direction in my slices. And that's really important because when you do a balayage, what happens when it lays down, right? It gets a little bit softer when it's up here, when it's painted up here, okay? So I'm going to show you that. Loading our section, our balayage. And then this side's going to be the highest side. Boom, right there. Creating some really nice, beautiful ribbons. Let me show you this section real quick. Check that out. Watch the swoop and loop. If you didn't see it last time, boom, swoop, loop. X's. That's how we get our saturation there at the bottom, all right? Then if you want to touch up those little pieces here at the very end, when you don't have a lot of product on your brush, you're more than welcome to. There is our slice section with the foil. We're going to place that right on top. We're going to lock her up. You do not have to lock your foils. Like I said, if you want these foils hanging loosey-goosey, be my guest. It'd probably be fine. But I don't like to lose foils. Like if my client goes to the bathroom, I don't want 20 foils all over the salon suite. You feel me? So let me see. All right, so we're gonna remix on this one, and I'm gonna show you how fast it is to remix. It's like really not serious at all. When you know you're doing 1-to-1, it's very simple. So my bowl, empty, licked clean. Do 1 scoop. So I like to keep my stuff fresh. 1 scoop, 29 grams. So we're gonna do 59 total and 2 drops of our plant-based reinforcement. Actually, that was 4 drops, but you heard me. Watch the dust content. None. None. I love it. It's my fave. As like my pet peeve about bleaches is like, dude, when I'm mixing 9 bowls of bleach, please don't put it in my lungs. Please. Life is hard enough. And I don't actually know if this bleach is made dust free, but that is what I notice about it. Courtney, do you know if this bleach is dust free, like on purpose?
Yep, it's one of our big selling points is that you're not going to be inhaling all day.
Wow, I love it. Perfect. Thanks. Okay, so it's almost like enough stuff or something. I noticed. All right, so here's our consistency. Boom. Icing, baby. And we're going to count the foils at the very end. It's going to be very exciting. Oh, Old Faithful got left behind. Not Old Faithful. All right. So remember, we're leaving a veil. This is our slice. Sorry, I had a little bit of a uneven section. All right, so we're gonna tease up. Look at that tease. That was a good one. Oh yeah. Okay, hold on. There we are. Yeah, that was a good one. We're gonna clip that bad boy up. Hold our section taut. Load our balayage. And I was always told to keep the foil comb in my hand for speed. Do whatever you want, but it does help me. I feel like I'm not picking stuff up all the time. It's like already in my hand, you know? Foil? And when you get really good at this, you guys, I want you to charge your worth on this, okay? Because this is hard to do, okay? I have practiced for the last 4 years, 5 days a week on this balayage. I mean, I think I've actually been practicing maybe 6 years on balayage. Um, but definitely have been making most of my clientele balayage for the last 4 years. It is my specialty in my area. I am in San Antonio, Texas. And I am one of the top balayage specialists in my area. And it's due to this technique right here, you guys. This technique, I did teach it to myself. I learned a lot about balayage, and then I decided to take certain things from certain balayages that I had seen, or classes I had taken, or videos I saw, and I decided to make it my own. And when I did that, I saw like my own creativity when my clients would walk out, and it was one of the most rewarding things. And then ultimately, it allowed me to decide that this is what I'm going to specialize in. This is what I'm the best at. And then honestly, I feel like my clientele really grew from there because I was really sure about what I was offering to my community. So think about that. If you don't specialize in something, maybe this could be your specialty. I don't know if balayage is, really prominent in your area, but I didn't even know if it was prominent in mine. I just did it. Um, and I don't want you to be discouraged if you feel like the market is too saturated. Yeah, well, there's not a you. Whoop. Okay, so if that happens, look, boom, right back. So there's not a you out there. There's not going to be a balayage that's yours walking around downtown, wherever you are. And you know what's really cool is in my small town that I live in, right outside of San Antonio, Bernie, Texas. I have actually had people that have not come to me yet, but want to, and they can spot a magical mason balayage at HEB. No, I'm not making that up. I have been told that multiple times that they thought so and so got their hair done by me, and they were right because they can tell, and that's what I live for, and I think that's what you should live for too. To strive to be that kind of different without speaking. Cool. On to the next. We're gonna weave this. Boom, 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 boom. Your weave does not have to be consistent, you guys. As long as you feel like your weave looks good, go with it. Use your heart. Anytime I've ever balayaged with my heart, I was never wrong. Just so you know. Remember, we're keeping it high up on this other side here. Let me show you. On the side of the ears, that's how you can remember. That's going to be your highest point in the balayage. And there's a couple different ways to do this. This is just my favorite. You can create W's, you can create V's, you can create, I mean, straight lines if you wanted to. I don't recommend that, but You can really make whatever shape you feel like is best for your client. But I like and then here we are kind of in this cowlick crown section, I guess. This is where everybody feels like, okay, what do I do? Well, let me show you. Remember, we got to skip. Have to leave dimension if we're going to put brightness on top of it. If you put brightness on top of brightness, that you're not going to like see it like you want to. Okay. So right here, I am actually going to create a V in one section. So if you can imagine, boom, all the way down, all the way coming back up here. And I'm going to show you. T's, T, C, 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 C. The harder lines that you create, the more important your tease is. So I don't like to create hard lines at all. But if you find yourself feeling like, you know what, I feel like a hard line is kind of it, okay, do it. See what happens. So I want you to really see this really quick. I'm sorry. Hold on. I want you to see this from my point of view. Cool. Okay, perfect. So this is my POV right here. So you can either weave this section or keep it a slice. I feel like I'm gonna weave it slightly, maybe even like a micro slice, to be honest, because I want just a little bit more of a veil here. That's why I decided that. So pay really close attention. Loaded, loading, balayage. Did you hear my stomach growl? No, you didn't. Okay, you see how it's high up on both sides? We love that. And we're going to create softness throughout. Blend it till your heart is content, truly. See that blend? Whew. Ah, I love it. All right, foil underneath. Want to make sure it's underneath all of your bleach so you don't get any bleeders. And then we're going to go ahead and saturate mids to ends. If you have any questions about that back section, feel free to ask in the comments and we'll try to answer them the best we can. If you have any questions about ratios, consistency, just let us know and we'll try to answer them the best we can. If you've got questions, I have answers. Boom. Cover it up. Perfect. Take our baby clip. And you see how there's some bleach in this tease right here? Leave it alone or swipe it out. I mean, whatever you want to do. It's not going to make or break your game. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to these side sections. I'm going to show you this side section, and then we're going to go over to the other one, and we're going to bang it out real quick so that we can go ahead and move on to the most important section, which is the mohawk section. I'm going to flip myself around so I can make sure we have a good angle. Alrighty. Oh my gosh, we have some people on here today. Oh my gosh. I didn't even know. I thought we were alone. Alrighty, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 foils in this back section. Can you believe that? I'm gonna predict that there's gonna be 22 foils in this head, but we'll see. All right. So she did say that we're not gonna do a money piece today. So we want to keep that in mind. I feel like sometimes when I'm like working, I'm in 6 clients deep. I am like automatic and bright around the face, but not everybody wants that. So it's really, really important to ask your client, hey, are you into a money piece? What's a money piece? Educate them on that. If they don't want a money piece, this is how you're going to work. So we're going to make sure to keep it bright around the face, but we're not doing a money piece. Okay. So we're going to bring this, our bleach, we're going to bring it up, but we're not going to bring it too far up. That way she has a little bit of room to grow. That is one thing that my balayage clients say is that they love my balayage because it grows out so nicely. Yes, they're spending $400 or $500 to get their balayage done with me, but they do not have to get their balayage done again for sometimes a whole year because they love it through all of its stages. So we're going to load right here and we're going to swipe. Be gentle, be calm. Right? Be calm with this because if you just start getting in there like Edward Color hands, you're gonna have a lot of issues when you go to the bowl. Mids to ends. And I do like to swipe because I feel like a lot of times if I don't swipe and then I take out the foil later, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, dang, I should have swiped. Because I feel like it kind of breaks up a lot of that chunkiness that kind of sometimes flies to the top. And remember, skipping. And we're still staying true to our slice, skip, weave, skip, slice. That's a mouthful. I'm not gonna lie. So we skipped. That was a slice, so this must be a weave. You know me, the queen of not overfoiling. You would never catch me overfoiling. Mm-mm. All right, tease. I mean, sometimes it's necessary, right? If a level 4 wants to be a level 11, you're gonna have to overfoil. But in balayage, you don't need to be doing that. So we are gonna weave, traditional chunky weave, and I am gonna put I've noticed that I've been putting the foil underneath my weaves because I don't want the bleach dropping in between my ribbons. I should have known I was going to be a balayage specialist because you know what? I was that kid that never washed their brushes and made a canvas. Never washed the brush one time, and it's like, how did you do that? Well, I didn't wash my brush one singular time. How about that? And that's what this feels like, honestly. Because you're not like overloading your brush with product. You're like loading it just enough to create a blend, and then it's done. So learning your product usage is super important. And then you don't have to worry with this kind of technique about the heat messing with from their body messing with your foils because they're pretty loose off the head. So typically, unless they have a money piece, you really don't have to worry about that. Okay, so we skipped. That was a weave. This must be a slice. That was too much. All right, loaded, loading, balayage. And I truly believe there isn't any mistakes when you're painting your balayage. Okay, let me get this out of the way so my strong shoulder isn't just like in the way. There is truly no mistakes when you're painting your balayage. If you feel like you made a mistake, wipe it off with your finger or with a towel and get back to it. But I promise you, no amount of, oh, this, or this is gonna, break your balayage unless it's a bleeder. That's gonna break it. Or hard lines, honestly. Are some of y'all that are in the chat, are y'all balayage specialists or are you just color specialists? Are you just here to support? Tell me what you're here for. Tell us what you're here for. Or tell us what you're here to learn today. So this right here, that's gonna be a pocket of depth. Okay? I want you to see this. This triangle here, it's a pocket of depth. We're gonna leave that. So we have 1, 2, 3 foils in this section. Are you joking? Okay, come on, let's do 3 more. All right, so let me go ahead and move you over here. Right. Okay, I got enough for this. Maybe this one, and then we're gonna remix again. And this one we're gonna do 2 scoops, so I don't have to keep remixing. All right.
There's all that postpartum hair loss.
There it is.
There it be.
There it be. But we're gonna use it to our advantage today. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so this is gonna be a slice, just like on the other side. It's so important, you guys, to make sure that when you are doing this, you are honoring both sides of the head. Because if you do not honor both sides of the head the exact same, you will be able to see it. For real. I'm not kidding. Is my big shoulder in the way? Oh, okay. My strong hand. And I feel like whenever I freehand and then I put a foil on it, it really kind of sticks naturally anyways. You can kind of see that. So I'm going to leave that open. I'm going to go remix. I'm going to do 2 scoops, 60 grams, and then 60 grams of 20 volume as well. So I'm going to bring you with me so you can watch me do that. So 60 grams is typically 2 scoops. Typically, if you use the scoop from the Formula 18 bag. And then this will definitely finish off our balayage. So you could have done 2 scoops on that first one and then 2 scoops now, and you would only use 2 bowls. If you price your balayage per bowl, then there you go. Yep, so 2 scoops is 60 grams. So we're gonna meet it at a good 120 with our 20 volume. Give it a good razzle dazzle. And then we're gonna give it some plant-based reinforcement. Okay, you see her? Know her, love her, buy her. You need it. Okay, even if you're not ready to use a Formula 18 bleach, try this. Okay, so we're gonna do 4 drops of this because we have, well, I guess 5. A couple more drops of this because we did 2 scoops. Okay. Look at the dust. It's at a 0. Wow. It's almost like they put my health first or something. Imagine hair companies putting your health first. Crazy. Just another reason why I love Formula 18, because they actually love you. Actually care about your lungs and your airways. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still strong. It still smells real nice. Okay, real nice. Okay, so it's still bleach at the end of the day, but I'm so grateful that they're doing what they can do for us as or as beauty professionals. Consistency on 10. Let's get into it, you guys. I'm gonna get my energy drink, okay? I'm fusty. Boom. Energy drink. That's really good. Mm. Hey, Carmen. Carmen's the best. Carmen comes to most of my classes. She's so cool. Carmen, if you have any questions, let me know. Carmen actually also uses Formula 18, you guys. So glad you're here today, Carmen. Thanks for supporting us. All right, we're going to tuck this bad boy in. Oh, I'm sorry, baby.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna get beat up. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right? Little uppercut.
Yeah, right.
All right, we're going to skip. That's a slice, so this has got to be a weave. Tease. Okay, my strong shoulder's on the way. I felt it. We're going to weave this bad boy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Loading. And you see how I'm still picking up the foil at that same kind of degrees, I guess? Don't ask me what the degrees is, okay? I don't know. No, I can't even guess. There's no way. I don't even think I can guess what degrees that is, okay? But it's like to my belly button. And you see what just happened right here? I didn't keep the end out, so what do I have to hold taut now? Right? Okay. It's okay. It's fine. You're just gonna have to load a little bit more product. And you're gonna have to make sure that your foil is held taut instead of the hair. But it's not the end of the world, you see? You just move forward. We're gonna lock that bad girl up and close. Literally, guys, this is so easy that I feel like you can use this behind the chair today. You can use this behind the chair tomorrow. Like this is one of those things that's going to elevate your clientele's experience, to be honest. And they're not gonna question you. They're gonna be like, dude, you're painting that on my hair and it looks that good. And they're gonna keep coming back. So that was a slice, so this must be a weave. And this is our last foil. Yep. And we're keeping it up. I'm sorry, that one was a weave. This one must be a slice. I can't remember if I said that or not. I feel like I said it backwards. Loaded. I'm going to show you this one. Here, just a sec. And you see how I'm just letting those baby hairs just disconnect from my foil? They're all right there. Or I mean disconnect from my brush. That's what you should do. Just let it disconnect. You don't have to be like, oh, it's touching me. Just paint. Just be calm. And see that? You can still see that we're following that shape, highest point towards the face. We've still got that diagonal going. And then we still have all of our baby hairs here that we kind of swiped up that kind of came disconnected from my brush. I'm going to tell you a funny story about balayage while I'm doing this. When I first started doing balayage this way, which I think is, I guess, like my signature way. It's not the most traditional, but it is my signature way. When I first started doing this, I worked at a big commission-based salon, and I used to cry. I used to cry in the back because I thought this looked messy, and there's no way that this could look good. I would literally cry for 45 minutes during that processing time because I was like, you can't convince me that this is going to look good. And then they would leave and it looks amazing. So just know that if you're in doubt, trust it out. Okay, so I'm keeping in mind where her natural part is. For me, it's in kind of the middle of this mohawk section. So with each section, I'm going to keep that in mind because balayage is cascading over the side of the part line. Okay, so you want to keep that in mind. And here on this top section, I am going to keep some nice root because I want her to be a lived-in balayage. So I've already taken my veil here in the back that connects with my two side triangle pieces. You can see here my entire veil of depth. Okay. So we're going to go in and we are going to slice. We're going to start with a slice and we are still honoring our pattern that we are creating here. And this is the last part, you guys. This is it. So if you try this at home, tag me on Instagram, tag Formula 18 if you use their bleach. And let me know what you think about it, if this works for you, or if, even if it didn't work for you, let me know. I just don't think that it's not going to work for you if you do it right. Okay. So you see all this tease? It's good news. That's going to be your insurance. Holding this section taut, loading my brush. Loading the section. Okay. So you're going to want it to look like this before you even swipe. Scary, right? Make it unscary. Do your job. And I'm going to keep on this middle mohawk section. I'm actually going to bring it up on both sides. And we're going to keep that depth in the middle quite low. You could do V all the way down. I mean, this whole thing could be depth. There's a lot of different ways you can balayage, and you can create a signature balayage. You can take what I teach you today, and you can mix it up on your own, and you can call it your own signature balayage. You know what I mean? Because it isn't mine, and it's not your neighbor's either. So wait, let me show you this. Woo woo! Look at that. She's a beaut. Right? So we're gonna go ahead and put our foil down. And you can see it's sticking to the foil already. So if you did this without the foils, you would want to make sure that your consistency is way thicker and way drier. Drier is a crazy word, but more dry, I guess. I don't know, like a lot thicker to where it's not like gooey. I have done it with Formula 18 lightener before. It is not clay lightener, but it does work the same. But if you're going to do that, you have to make sure that you are surface painting only. Okay. I will be teaching a class on that probably by the end of the year. If you don't know what surface painting is in balayage, go look it up. It's basically just painting the surface and you're keeping the inside brown of your section. So that was a slice. Now we're going to do a skip and a weave. And my sections are 1/2 inch thick. I'm going to put you back here because let me lift you up. Oh no. Can y'all still hear me? Sorry.
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay, sorry. Pushed the wrong button. Alrighty. So we are finishing up our balayage placement here. Teasing. In this section, you're gonna have a lot of long teas. That's okay. Get it out of your way, girl. Do a weave. Boom, 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 boom. And you see all this depth underneath. If you can imagine when we balayage this piece, look. Boom, Beautiful, right? Ribbons. That's how I like to create ribbons. Makes a lot of sense to me. Does it make sense to you? Should. Loaded. Loading. I think it's really important to keep your bleach on that mid section when you're loading it, because you don't really want to go too high and then have too much product too high up in your section. That's the worst. Because a balayage typically is on the lower, the zones 2 and 3, and that zone 1 is all blend and natural roots. Okay. Beautiful, stunning. Close her up. You see how that piece wasn't sitting well with me, so I just used my ye old fingers. And so you can imagine when this cascades around her part, it's going to have such over direction in all kinds of ways that it's really going to be the best blend you've ever seen. Okay. So that was a weave. We're going to skip, get all this baby here, put it down. Look at that. Woo! It's good stuff. That's a good tease right there. We're going to skip. And skipping is important for your ribbons. The more teas, the better, in my opinion. Whatever, all clients are going to be different. Whatever your client gives you for the teas, rock with it. If you feel like it's too much though, and you know inside your soul that like wasn't a good tease, brush it out and do it again. But most of the time, it's good. Loaded, loading, holding it super taut, you guys. Like in order to do this part, you have to hold it tight. Like I can't express to you how important that is. Because if you don't hold it tight, it's just your section is going to be flopping all over the place, and you're not going to get a good balayage. You're just not. I know that sounds terrible, you guys. I'm like, after every section, I'm like, wow, amazing. But it really is so fun. Like sweeping your bleach, I feel like we are just so conditioned from cosmetology school to be like, this is how it has to be. Everything has to be even, sectioned perfectly. Everything has to be perfect, saturation at 100%. And it's like, that's not always true. Like, what are we artists for if we can't be free? Like, come on, dude. Freehand painting, get to it. And if you're scared, stop it. Get a model. Or do it on your friends. Or do it on a client that you feel comfortable with and let them know, hey, I'm gonna try this on you. Do you mind? And you know what they're gonna say? They're probably gonna say, I don't even know what that is. So just do it. All right. So we got that tease there. That was a slice. Now we're doing a weave. You can definitely practice this on a doll head as well. It's just not as fun for sure. And the lift is like not as great. But I did practice this the first time I ever did it on a doll head, and I practiced it 3 times before I decided to do it on a client. And the first client I ever did it on actually had the same exact base. So typically levels 6 and up, well, 5 and up, I guess, you can feel comfortable balayaging for your first time on. 5 and below is going to get a little tough unless you're doing a brunette balayage. And I'm not talking a bright brunette balayage. I'm talking a dark brunette minimal dimension balayage, because their hair is going to turn orange with this technique. So if you get a client that's too dark, just be ready that that could happen. So that's why I like to keep my clients with this technique a level 6 and up. Because you're going to get that level 8, 9 lift, and then you're going to bring it back down to a 7. Is there anybody on the chat that this looks like really scary to? And if it looks scary to you, tell me why it looks scary. Okay, there's a weave. Swoop and loop, saturate mids to ends, and then get the rest of the product off my brush, keeping it high on both sides. Y'all hear the hee hee haw hawing going around in the salon? I love it. I love hearing laughter from other rooms that aren't mine. Because usually my room's the funniest room. I'm like, who is hee hee haw hawing without me? Rude. All right, that was a weave. Look how much we have left. Not much. Okay. So, in my opinion, a lot of people at this point of the head, they want to turn their client around and they want to start doing it from the front. What I have found when I do that is my over direction does me dirty. And this part of the head is way too concentrated for this technique than the rest of the hair. So, because of that, I'm going to continue doing it from the back. Skip. Please. Oh my God. Got a fairy knot in there.
It's usually pretty obvious, so probably not encountered me.
The fact I haven't until right now.
I know, it's pretty.
It's crazy. A little fairy knot.
I could
Okay.
give you something.
Yeah, for sure. Gotta give you something to work with, right? All right. So what I'm gonna do, if you're 5'2" like me, and you're like, hey Mason, I literally am not gonna work out my calves to do this balayage, then you can be like me and you can get a hair stare, because that's what I'm about to do. So that I can really be on top of this section. I know, a hair stare. Crazy news, right? Look at it. I'm gonna stand on this. Short. Now I'm above my section. If you're tall and blessed and God's favorite, you won't have to do this. So that was a weave, I believe. Yes. Always go back and check your section if you're unsure. That was weave. Can you tilt your head up for me just a little bit? Yes. Yeah. So this is going to be a slice. Okay. So we're going to TCCs, TCCs. Also, the bigger the section that you have, and also on top of this mohawk section, you are going to have a lot of T's. That's just how it goes. We're going to hold that section nice and taut. We're going to load our brush. Loaded. Putting it on. Loading. You see those hard lines right there? I know you see them. Now watch me blend them out. Do you see that chunk right there? Watch. It's not going to hurt you. I mean, it'll burn you a little bit, but you'll live. God, and you see how this bottom, look at this. Look at the bottom of that section. It's not even colored. That's good. All right. Let's put the foil underneath. Boom. Mids to ends. Saturate and swoop and loop. I'm locking them kind of in a triangle way, keeping these open, just because as you go up the head, you don't want your section to be too tight and really on top of anything. You really kind of want it to just do its thing, lift accordingly, and look really nice and blended. So that's how you're going to do that as well. So that was a slice. Now we're getting up close to the front, and we're going to keep the front of the face in mind, and we're going to keep both of the sides in mind as well. So that last foil you do in the front, you want it to be a slice because that's what we did on the sides. In no way, shape, or form is that going to be a money piece because of how we're going to blend it when it gets towards zone 1. So this is how much hair I have left, you guys. It's literally not much. But if I did what we have been doing, which is skip and then weave and then skip and slice, she's gonna end up with a money piece. So what I'm gonna do here is I am actually gonna skip a little bit bigger than I normally would. And then I'm gonna take this entire section and I'm gonna weave it. So I'm gonna have you look up just one more time, sorry. And then we're gonna keep in mind that we're not making a money piece. Please keep that in mind. Not making a money piece. But I am gonna weave because we're taking a bigger section. And I want it to be really soft. But this is gonna be our last foil, okay? So we're gonna tease. And this piece is actually gonna live, if I measure this right here, this piece is actually gonna go no higher than about right here. Okay? Because we're not making a money piece. Not making one. Okay, all that tease in front of the face. Weave. Drop down. Yeah, and you can see that that weave still kind of gave me a slice, but with a little bit of space in between, and that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So this part right here, make it or break it. So you better make sure you make it. All right, I'm holding that section taut, and I'm going to be mindful of where the highest point of my balayage is going to be, and I'm going to stop right there. And I like to, it's kind of like making a guide when you're cutting hair. You're going to go, okay, this is the highest I want this to go. So I'm going to do that first and then blend around it. Right after we're done placing this, I'm going to talk to you really, really quickly about my favorite aftercare products because it's really important and you won't be able to see that in this Zoom meeting today, but you will be able to see that on my Instagram reel that will be up tomorrow with Formula 18. So make sure you go catch the end of this education here tomorrow morning. And if you can't remember what my Instagram name is at magical.mason. Formula 18 is at F18 hair, I believe. Go follow both of us so you can make sure to catch the end of this really, really amazing blended balayage. Let me show you my last section right on top of it. You see that? Perfect. And we're going to close it up and we're going to let her sit for 30 minutes. And before I even walk away, I'm going to check my last section. If you're not doing that, start doing that. Because it's not like you're going to pull that first section that you did if it's not quite there yet. But you want to make sure, like, hey, if I've been foiling for 45 minutes, I'm going to check that first foil because that's going to tell you what the lift is going to be like for the rest of the hair, most likely. But definitely for a virgin hair, right? Alexa, set a timer for 30 minutes. Sorry if I just made all of y'all set a timer for 30 minutes. Okay, so let's check that first foil, and then we're going to get into some aftercare hair products that I am going to use on my client and that I think you should be using on your clients to elevate your client's experience. And then we're going to kind of close out this Zoom meeting, and you're going to catch the end tomorrow morning. So let's go ahead and check this first foil. I'm gonna have you come in here with me. Come in here with me, love. Let's get you down to my level, okay? All right. Let's check it. So let's check this one because this is my second one, but she's out. She's out and about. So let's open her up. Oh, look at that, you guys. Amazing. And because we're only going to be going to about a level 7 or 8 with her balayage. That is a perfect lift. And having some of those warm tones with what we're doing today is going to keep your client's integrity of their hair, which is going to hold your toner better. Your client's going to be happier. And honestly, the blend is going to be a lot better if you know how to tone accordingly. Okay. So we're going to let my client sit for about 30 minutes. We've got a timer going. So I want to talk to you guys just a little bit about my favorite Formula 18 products because I do think it's really, really important. Okay. So after I'm done with every single service, I am really into hair care. Okay. When I first started, I was super unsure about if hair care even worked or how do I get my clients to care about their hair care as much as I do, right? And so at the salon I worked at, they had Formula 18 and they started teaching me first about leave-in conditioner. Leave-in conditioner is my first and foremost number one favorite product from Formula 18 because anyone can use it. My daughter uses it. She's almost 6 years old. And I use it to tame her curls. I use it to detangle her hair. And I also use it so that she's not like, Mom, can you please be softer? Okay. Because a couple sprays of this, and you're going to be able to brush right through that hair. I feel like this also keeps my client's hair integrity at 100%. Not only that, it is pH balanced. All of Formula 18's products are pH balanced. That's literally one of the favorite things that I love about them. The pH is 3.5 to 4.5, which, if you know about pH, then you know every time you wet your hair, every time you spray something on it, every time you put color on it, your pH, just like your body, can get a little bit off in your hair, which can contribute to dryness, unevenness, patchiness, sometimes even shedding and crazy, experiences. I have heard of it. It's a little wild. But when you spray this or you wash your hair with Formula 18 or you put in repair oil, you are putting that pH back down to its natural hair level, which is a 3.5 to 4.5. Okay. So that's also why I love it. Another thing is that if you have too much product on your hand with any product from Formula 18, honestly, I just rub it in my hands. Just rub it in my hands, rub it on my elbows, just rub it into your skin because if it's good for your hair, it's good for your skin, in my opinion. Obviously, we're not spraying leave-in conditioner on our elbows, but you can rub in the rest of the product into your hands, especially hairstylists that have 8, 9 clients a day and our hands are cracking. When you put that repair oil in your hand or the leave-in conditioner, just give it a good rub in between the hands and you can even rub it on your elbows if you'd like, or give your client a high five and they can rub it into their hands too. Okay. So leave-in conditioner, get it for your salon, try it. The next thing, I always put this first, and then the next thing is repair oil. And I want to show you exactly how much repair oil I put in all of my clients' hair because if you overdo it, you're going to be wasting your product and you don't want to do that. This can last you a really, really long time. So watch. Oh, wait, hold on. I need to open it first. How about that? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even give you the ASMR you deserved. Okay. Let me show you how much to use. Probably a pea-sized amount. You're going to emulsify it in your hands before you put it on your client's hair. Okay. If you, for whatever reason, feel like you need more repair oil, use that first. And the biggest sign that if you need more repair oil is if your hands, can you see that? If your hands are still shiny like mine, then the product hasn't, then you have enough product in the hair. If your hands are not shiny like mine, you probably need a little bit more. Okay. So you can see I put a little pea size on my hands and I just rubbed it in. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay. So the third thing I always use on my clients, unless they specify otherwise, some of my clients don't like blowout cream or smoothing cream in their hair. So I do like to honor that for them if they don't like it. But most of my clients are obsessed with smooth style. I put this in after the repair oil to tame the frizz, kind of just make it give it like a polished look at the end, especially if they're not wanting to curl the hair in the end, or if they're going somewhere and you want to have a really, really insane, beautiful, polished blowout. You're going to use a pea-size amount of this to start. Emulsify it in your hands and then put it in your client's hair. It's better to build the product than to over product the hair. Okay. So that you can also use after that, you can use whatever heat protectant you like, or you can use thermal mist from Formula 18. But if you use thermal mist from Formula 18, I'm pretty sure you need to use it on dry hair. Okay, because it is heat activated, so you need to use it on dry hair. I'm almost positive. And then after that, my favorite finishing is the medium hold hairspray, you guys. It's brand new. I'm obsessed with it. I used to use brushable hairspray. I don't need to use that anymore. This is brushable hairspray, you guys. It's medium hold. It's not going to give you that chunky casting. It's really going to hold your curls or your whatever blowout in place, your style. And it's not going to give you that like tresemme, really like crunchy, nasty. So this is my favorite, you guys. Medium hold hairspray. Go try it. Okay, seriously, go try it. You can't overuse it. I have tried, and you can't. Okay. Firm hold is the other one. You can overuse that one. I like to use that one for my slick backs. I like to use that one for weddings because that one's very serious and it ain't going nowhere. Okay. Couple more things I want to talk about, and then I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go, is the bleach. Okay. I think we've talked about her a lot today, but I want to talk to you about the ingredient that makes this different is potassium persulfate. Okay. I forget it all the time, so I have to look. Potassium persulfate. So that is the first ingredient in this bleach. And if you don't know about potassium persulfate, it is in all bleaches, right? But sometimes it's not the first chemical. Sometimes it's the fourth chemical or the second chemical. This being the first chemical in this bleach allows me to have even lift, and it also, I feel like it has it acting quickly, efficiently, without frying the hair off. Like that is what bleach is supposed to be made out of. And they made it out of this in their first chemical. I think that is so amazing. And honestly, scientifically, that's probably why I love it because it's what it's supposed to do. Potassium persulfate, period. That's what it's supposed to do. Okay. So on the back of it, it says, does say dust free. It does say dust free. Great fragrance. It has like a very just like mild fragrance. I don't think it's like gross. It doesn't just smell like bleach, but it is good. Can be used on or off the scalp. I typically do use this off the scalp. I have used it on the scalp once, and it was just fine. It was for the Scandinavian hairline, but I did use the Demi Developer with that, which is kind of like a 5 or a 10. Creamy consistency, which is what you saw today, and up to 10 levels of lift, you guys. So if you need a new bleach, go get you some. Don't say I didn't tell you. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is the shampoo behind the chair. Luxurious shampoo and conditioner plus mask. You guys, listen. Arguably, start with this leave-in conditioner and the hairspray. You're not going to go wrong. Okay. Luxurious shampoo and conditioner I use on every single one of my clients unless I feel like they kind of need something else. I use this on myself as well. My mom likes to use bodifying shampoo and conditioner. Honestly, my husband has been caught stealing my Formula 18 and using it on his hair and on his whole body. That's how great it is, you guys. Okay. For the wives that know, you know. Okay. Luxurious shampoo and conditioner, the best. It's gonna leave your hair hydrated. It's not gonna be over like hydrated. It's not gonna be kind of weighted down. It's honestly just gonna be hydrating like it should be. This product should not feel like you have a professional product in your hair. It should feel like it's just hair. Okay. Luxurious shampoo and conditioner is my favorite for my color clients, which would be compromised hair clients. This is the best. Okay. If this is too hydrating for you, break it down and go to just hydrating shampoo and conditioner. If even that is too hydrating for you, break it down one more and do bodifying shampoo and conditioner. Okay. That's my recommendation for you. Masks, hairstylists, anybody, mask. That is another thing that you should have in your shower, behind the chair, everything. I literally make this part of my experience here at the salon. I take about 10 minutes with every single one of my clients. I give this a couple pumps into my hand. I turn the lights off. I do. I turn the lights off and I emulsify it in my hands. This is after I've toned, and I'm going to finish the service behind the bowl here. I'm going to let them take a deep breath. I actually let them smell it because honestly, it smells so good. Oh, it smells so good. And it's not like too overly fragranced. I put this all over the hair, and I actually give my clients a chance to be quiet and get a 10-minute scalp massage within all of their color services. That alone will elevate your service 10 times. If you don't trust me, try it. And your clients are going to be like, whoa, I'm a different person getting up, right? Let them leave all their worries here at the bowl while you're using mask. Their hair is going to thank you, but also they're going to get up going, dude, my hair is so soft. And you're going to be like, you know what? Just because you're going to get luxurious shampoo and conditioner and mask, leave-in conditioner, repair oil, and you're going to take it home and you're going to use it. So that's what I like to do behind the chair. If you have any questions about any of these products, feel free to ask me. Feel free to ask Formula 18, and we will get answers for you. But this mask, you need to go get it for sure. Because I'm about to use all of these products that I just showed you on my client after we're done with the service. And like I said, you're going to see that reel up tomorrow morning on my Instagram and Formula 18's Instagram. And I can't wait for you guys to see these results. These results are going to be fire, and then it's going to be so blended, and you are going to use this behind the chair. Okay, you guys? So I will see you tomorrow on Instagram. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let us know. Me or Formula 18, we are here for you. And thanks for tuning into my class, my traditional balayage class. And I can't wait to see you guys at the next one.